Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Brave Briefings, a place where men and women can come and share their ideas, their tips on how we can create a brave world, a world that is devoid of harassment and gender-based and sexual-based violence. Are you brave? I hope Amanda is brave. I'd like to welcome to our stage Amanda Mokoena. Hi, Amanda.
Hi, Lewis. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for being here. So just to remind our viewers, to be brave is about what you can do to go forward positively in order to stop harassment, to not be a bystander. So it's about having boundaries, respect, agreement, values, and equality and empowerment. And that's what we want to create in our youth, in our adults. If we can get people to be brave, we can make a dent in this terrible scourge of violence that we face. So, Amanda, would you like to tell our viewers a little bit about yourself?
I'm Amanda Mokoena. I've got a 7-year-old girl, and I'm a teacher. So I'm also passionate about women. Work that support women or organizations that support women. I'm passionate about empowering women in general. So I'm also founder of the GLOW movement, which is a youth-led organization that works to create necessary change to improve the lives of girls and women in South Africa. So we really started this organization. It was just an idea. It was a group of 3 women who had the same passion, and we really wanted to support young girls and women. So we just started GLOW in 2019. It was founded in 2018, but we started doing the work in 2019, where we chose girls from high school. We adopted a high school, and we wanted to empower these young women so that they can stand for themselves. They know exactly what they want to do after they complete their matric. So we actually adopted the school and also adopted the Take a Girl Child to a Work Day program by Celsi. So that's where we all started, and we approached different companies and organizations to help us host 3 workshops, especially to empower these young women. So R.A.V.E came on board because then our topic was 4IR, because R.A.V.E, when we actually spoke to them, they said that actually a few women are interested in doing IT, and there are few women who are interested in doing anything in the digital space. So it would be really a great opportunity for them to actually have these workshops with these young women. So we had the 3 workshops with R.A.V.E and with the University of Pretoria, where they had to choose their careers, and really they had to tell them more about their careers, because sometimes they choose these careers without having any knowledge. So that's where we started having these workshops with Take a Girl Child to a Work Day, and then we continued because we met at an organization called Flourished, where we were licensed to be antenatal and postnatal hosts in our communities, also to support women, pregnant women, expectant moms, and new moms in our community. So we met there, and we thought we want just to support women in general. So GLOW is really empowering girls and young women. We do these workshops with young girls. We continue with these antenatal and postnatal support in our communities to support women. And we also do refer, gender-based violence victims. We do refer them where they get help, because when we have these classes, we do speak to women, and they do go through a lot. Just imagine being abused when you are pregnant. It's even worse. So we do refer them where they do get help as well. And that's basically what we do at our communities. We also offer psychosocial support for women who work in communities, especially women who do, community care workers who work in communities. They also do go through a lot. They do not get any support. They are mothers, and they do not get, they are not paid enough. Sorry. So we do support them, and this initiative is supported by DGMT. So we were chosen to carry the work to support community care workers. So because GLOW support women, we chose to support community care women who are community care workers in different communities. So basically, that is what GLOW is about. And we have started our Mentor Me, I'm a Boy Child program, because we thought it's not making sense if you really just empower women all the time. And, you know, they are abused by men. Why not mentor a boy child? Because out of my experience, honestly, because I was married in 2015 and my marriage didn't last so long. So that's also one of the reasons why I started GLOW and I wanted to help women, is because you know, my husband had really these patriarchal ideas, and all the time when we discuss it is about how he was raised. You know, my dad told me this, my dad told me this, my dad told me a woman would always be a woman, my mom always, and my mom always told me I'm a man in the house. And what I've learned is that he was not respecting his sisters at all. And the relationship he only had a relationship with his brother and not with his sisters, because he was raised in that way, that he's a man and he's not supposed to associate himself with women, and women are just women, and women belong in the kitchen, and women are not supposed to be anything. So I come from that marriage, and hence I wanted to do this work. So this Mentor Me, I'm a Boy Child started from then, because if you're a boy child and you are raised in a particular way and you are told all the time that's woman's work, that's what a woman needs to do, that's just a woman, you know, you will grow up with that mindset, and it's just an ongoing thing that we will never stop. We will never be able to stop unless we really do have these programs that just mentor young men. And these programs, we then put up a manual together with a guy called Abel. So this guy, I wanted this manual to be put together by a guy himself. So he actually put together the manual, and he was, because he's from Zimbabwe, he was also having these stories about how women are treated in Zimbabwe, and he was writing this training manual from that, you know. And this training manual is about you putting yourself in a woman's shoes, and there's really different programs and activities for these young boys, for them really to see that women are just also human beings, and they're equal, and they deserve also better, and they really don't deserve to be abused. So basically, that's the work that I've been doing and I'm passionate about.
Wow, well, it's such a valuable work, and we are all grateful that you are out there doing it. So, and what's lovely is it fits in really nicely with BRAVE, because in order to get those young boys to become healthy, have a healthy masculinity when they grow up, they need to be brave.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's great. So, what advice can you give these young boys and the girls in order for them to be brave?
I'd say that you know, first of all, I'd say for girls and boys, because you know, I'll start with the boys. Boys are being forced sometimes to just be men. You know, you can't be a girl. You can't be like that. You're a man, and they're forced to have this, you know, toxic masculinities, and they're forced into it. I believe so, because I saw that from my husband, and now it's a life that he's living, and he cannot just get over it because he was raised that way. I would say that they should continue because I see these young generation growing up, they're very yoke, and they are willing to do anything what a woman would be doing, and they would also be doing, is that they should continue to see themselves as an equal with women or a girl child. So this really starts at school, where you say, I don't do girl stuff, I don't do that, try that, and know that women will also be playing soccer. Just know that women will also be playing they will also be playing rugby at some point if it hadn't started that. So I'd like to advise them to say they need to continue to motivate one another when it comes to you know, gender-based violence, or you know, looking women as just being women. They should motivate one another. They should have these conversations when they are alone, because I think it's better when they are, as men or boys, are having these conversations on how they can really stop GBV, and how they can be brave enough to be part of this support to women, and how they can end this by actually seeing themselves as one with women and not different, and never see a woman as being weak, and never see a woman as somebody that you can just abuse and use and abuse because they're just women, and that's how you saw the people around you do that, and you think that is nice. It's not. So they should continue to actually talk about this when they are in their groups, in their smaller groups. They should talk about it, and they should also have solutions on how they are going to see women as their equals, or girls as their equals if they are at schools. And for women, I'd say, you know, some women, when we have these antenatal and postnatal classes, some women think that they are powerless and they cannot do anything for themselves. And because my husband is working for me and he's bringing the money in and I'm not anything, I just have to tolerate everything. We do see something is wrong with these women, but they don't want to talk until we say, you know what, we can see that something is going on. How can we help you? Then they would break and cry and say, please don't tell my husband. Because sometimes we do call them, not sometimes, we do have some classes, 2 classes where we invite partners to speak with them in the antenatal classes, because they are also part of parenting. So they would like say, no, please don't tell my husband. If I tell you, can see they still don't have the power back. They feel like, I cannot do anything for myself. I'm dependent on this man. He cannot know that I'm telling other people that I'm being abused. I'm just saying, take your power back. And you tolerating being abused, you are being part of the problem. And you have to know that you're not alone. Such a lot of women are there for you, to support you. You need to leave an abusive relationship as soon as you can. And there's nothing as you cannot live without that man. You are born to be something, and you should just focus on yourself, on how you can make yourself better, and know that you are able to look after yourself and your children. That is possible. That is highly possible. Believe in yourself, believe in your word. Do not hesitate, do not doubt yourself. Just take your power back.
Well, you have covered so much there, Amanda. It's just unbelievable. You really have talked about boys and girls becoming brave, men and women becoming brave, because you've mentioned encouraging each other to be equal, to have balance, knowing that women can be strong and that men can be weak. You've spoken about agreement, consent. It's about talking and sharing. And if we can get our youngsters to follow those paradigms, wow, it'll be fantastic. So you are doing fantastic work to encourage our people to be brave. Sure. Yeah. That's really great. Empowerment is so important, to empower people to be able to make those decisions, to leave, to stay, to take back their power.
Yeah,
so that's wonderful work. So well done on the work that you do. Is there any last tip that you would like to share with our viewers?
The other last tip is when we also have these sexual reproductive health rights, where men thinks these topics are just for women. These topics are also for men, because you find that men becomes really aggressive and angry when a woman is pregnant, because they thought that they were on contraceptives and they think that they're not a part of the, these conversations, and they feel like they've been trapped all the time by women because they just fall pregnant and they just have to take responsibility. So I'd give a tip to men out there that they should be part of SRHR, the sexual reproductive health talks, and they should talk about this in their circles. They should talk about this with their partners. And I mean, because I work with pregnant women a lot of pregnant women are abandoned. For me, it's some form of abuse. It's not your own child. You being told that you need to take care of the child alone because I don't want a child. Already you are being emotionally abused. So I feel like these topics, really, we need to talk to young men about this, or men in general, that these conversations, we need to have conversations about sex. We need to have an agreement, because we know what comes out of sex. So if you guys agree to have unprotected sex, you know that this will happen. So it's a conversation that you have, and you really, really have to be sure about these things, because a lot of women are left as single women, struggling all the time. I'm getting phone calls of women who cannot even buy nappies for their babies, where else they didn't actually do this alone. There was someone else in the picture, which is the father of the child. So the conversations, abuse is not just physically, there's a lot of emotional abuse of raising a child alone. So please, I plead with our young men and men in general to really take responsibility and really support their women when they're pregnant. If it's something that you didn't want, talk about it, but do not belittle your woman and curse her out and make her even feel more smaller, because that causes depression and they never bounce back. Sometimes they do lose their babies, and sometimes they suffer postnatal depression, which they never bounce back, and their children are taken away from them because they cannot cope. So such things are form of abuse. I know people would say, Ahmed, we cannot discuss matter of sex and matters of pregnancy, but they are a form of abuse. If you are abandoning somebody, your child, and you're abandoning a woman who was carrying your child at a particular time, that is some form of emotional abuse. So let us all have this conversation. Effective communication is key. Let's have this communication open. Let's talk about this thing. Let's agree. Even to women, that there are contraceptives. If you're not ready for a baby, do get help and be advised on which contraceptives you can use if you're not ready for a baby, and always know that it's your right to use a condom. So both women and men, just know that this is, if you are not open or are not ready for a child, so that we avoid this emotional abuse that women are experiencing. Let's have these conversations. Let's talk about these things, and let's actually take responsibility. If already there's a baby, let's take responsibility. Don't ever make somebody feel small or feel worthless. Talk about them. If you can't help them, let it be a conversation. Let it be in a nice way. Let them understand. They might not understand, but let them understand where you are and how far you can help them. But don't abandon them. Don't make them feel small. Don't belittle them. Don't ridicule them. Just stay away from that. Let's have a little bit of humanity when it comes to that. Because for me, it's a form of abuse to leave a mother with a child without anything. It's yeah. So let's just work together.
So thank you. So the quick summary is it's about having that conversation, agreeing, and taking responsibility. So that's wonderful. So I'll put your contact details below this video. So reach out to Amanda, reach out to her organization, send your boys and girls to these different workshops and classes, and and let's learn. Let's all become brave together. So do join me. I'm Lois from Walking Without Skin. You can join me. You can find my details below, or you can join Amanda's group. Please join us. Be bold, be brave, and fly free. Thank you very much, Manda, for joining us today, and tune in again for another edition of Brave Briefings. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye, Liz.
Thank you. Bye.